Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get into Module 3, Scanning Networks. How tech companies prepare for cyber attacks. So we're going to discuss monitoring and assessments, policies and controls, hiring, software, firewalls, authentication and access, and encryption. So the module objectives are to overview the network scanning, understanding different techniques to check for live systems, understanding different techniques to check for open ports, understanding various scanning techniques, and understanding various IDS evasion techniques, so intrusion detection system evasion. Understanding banner grabbing, so we're going to clearly define what banner grabbing is. Overview of vulnerability scanning, network diagrams or diagramming, using proxies and anonymizers for attack, understanding IP spoofing and various detection techniques, and overview of scanning pen testing. So the overview of network scanning, number one, refers to a set of procedures for identifying hosts, ports, and services in a network, in a target network. And then network scanning is one of the components of intelligence gathering an attacker uses to create a profile of the target organization. So they may just post a profile and then somebody else comes along and attacks it in an automated fashion, or they may follow along and do it. So network scanning process is you send TCP/IP probes, you get network information. That's pretty much the gist of it. And the objectives are to discover live hosts, IP address, open ports of live hosts. So you have a live host, and then what ports are open on that host. And then you want to discover the OS and system architecture, to discover services running on hosts, and to discover vulnerabilities in live hosts. So the TCP communication flags are an important part of this. So over on the right, you see the big overarching TCP IP packet, or the TCP packet. So you see that where the TCP flags are in there. We're going to be discussing just that one little section. So we could do a whole entire course just on TCP IP. So we're going to be discussing right now just these TCP flags. So you need to know what these are, and you need to understand them and how they're used. So we have the urge, fin. Urge is urgent, fin is finished, RST is reset, and then we have PSH, which is push, ACK, which is an acknowledgement, as in acknowledged, yes sir, I got it, yes ma'am, I got it, and then send is a synchronized packet, or a flag. So data contained in the packet should be processed immediately if it's urgent, and there will be no more transmission because we're finished. So after a fin, there will be no more communication from me. And then RST resets a connection, and then the push sends all buffered data immediately. So push all the data right now, don't store anything else, just push what you've got. Acknowledges the receipt of a packet. So you sent me something, I got it. There's an ACK and an ACK, not acknowledged and acknowledged. And then initiates a connection between two hosts as a send or synchronize. And we're going to talk about these quite a bit, so you want to make sure you know these. Okay, so the TCP/IP communication, the three-way handshake, very important to understand through all of this course and the follow-on courses, and for just about any test you're going to take from now on for a certification. You need to know this, you need to know this. So probably this whole module will be very important. So the TCP session establishment, the three-way handshake, we have a SYN, a SYN-ACK, and an ACK. That's the TCP three-way handshake, and then the data flow starts. So we have a SYN, we have a SYN-ACK, and an ACK. So those are the flags that are set in that in the initial handshaking of the communication. So we have the SYN, then we should get back a SYN plus an ACK, and then we should send an ACK back to them. And then over on the TCP session termination part, we send a fin, they send an ACK, they send a fin, and we send an ACK. So that's the teardown. So to create a TCP IP or a TCP session, we send a SYN, we get a SYN-ACK, which is a SYN plus an ACK, so those two flags are set, and then we give them back an ACK to acknowledge their SYN-ACK. So when you want to tear one down, you send a fin, you should receive an ACK and a fin, and then you send one more ACK, and then the communication is terminated. create them, and I promise you the slide on the left, 90% of the questions are going to involve, not 90%, but a good 40% of the questions will involve this logic. You will see a lot of questions on this left one. Synac. Creating custom packets using TCP flags. So we're going to create custom packets using TCP flags, and there's a lot of tools we can use to do this. So Colasoft Packet Builder enables creating custom network packets to audit networks for various attacks. Attackers can also use it to create fragmented packets and bypass firewalls and IDS systems in a network. Well, you used to be able to. Most of the corporate systems now will regenerate fragmented packets before it forwards them on. Another service that does that is Akamai, the DNS service providers. They will rebuild the entire communication structure before the packets are forwarded on. So it analyzes everything. It doesn't just look at part of it. So there's a set of tools we can use for that, and this one that they're talking about here is Colasoft. Another one we can use is something like HPing.